Hello, Star Wars fans. Hey, there's just 159 days until Christmas 2022. We're more than halfway there. It's coming up, and just a couple days, I'll be 55 years old. It's my birthday's on Friday. We'll have a birthday stream. We'll talk about Star Wars. We'll see if Meg can join, and of course, my friend Jason Ward, who is with us today. Hello, Jason. How you doing today?
Judge Jason agrees. I don't know why I have this, but I do.
I don't either. I'm like, what? It's funny.
Hey, else they can't work.
I saw a really good comment as we were coming in, and
it said, "Shake that thing, Santa, shake it." And you did. You're going to.
Planet Fitness said, "Did you see Toys R Us is coming back?" I did. Did you? Have you seen that yet?
No.
So
I don't want it to come back until my kids are bigger. So I don't want to spend more money.
Well, there's a way around that. So last year they opened up a couple of the stores in Canada under the Toys R Us name. Now there has been an affiliation formed with Macy's. And so in Macy's stores, you will find a segment of the store for Toys R Us as you're going through.
So it's like when Target did the Disney store in that section. I don't know if they still do it, but for they did it at one point.
Exactly. It's exactly like that. And so there will be a Toys R Us section of the store, and in that it will vary store to store between 1,000 square feet to 10,000 square feet. That's a lot of square feet.
Where you would get your pantsuit, Meg. If you want your pantsuit, go to Macy's.
Is that like Wendy's? Not at all like Wendy's. Come on, Meg.
No, unless you eat pantsuits. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Now, Ducky says, aren't they going to be like Halloween costume shops that pop up seasonally? Interesting thing happened. We went to Mexico a couple years ago on vacation, and in the parking lot of Walmart stores,
KB Fiesta, KB Toys Fiesta. No,
well, in the parking lot they had an entire toy store. It was like under a tent. It was walls, it was heated, everything in there, and there was an entrance with the electronic doors and all that on it. But this thing, they were massive, and they'd take up a big portion of the parking lot just for seasonally for the toys. So anyway, so Toys R Us is coming back as part of Macy's. And so just don't go to Macy's. Your kids don't need to know.
Yeah, no, I don't wear pantsuits anymore, so I think I'm okay. I think I'm gonna be just fine.
Right. And as far as the kids know, there's nothing in Macy's for them.
I saw this video on Reddit the other day of this like grandpa walking with like his granddaughter, and she's probably like 2, and they're passing by like a toy store in the mall, and he picks her up and he covers her eyes and he walks right across the toy store and then sets her down and lets her go, and she's just happy. But it was like his way of getting out of the mall without spending any money on toys, and I was like, this is pretty good.
Yeah, well, I saw a video last night I had to show my wife. In malls where they're getting ready to open a store, they'll put a big like wall up with a picture of what that store is going to be.
Okay.
And a dude's just he's on his phone. He's going through the store or through the mall, right? He's going down the mall, there's a store. He turns, wham, right into the wall.
It was like a Looney Tunes moment. That's what
it was. It was exactly like that. It's like, dude, you need to pay attention. Like,
yeah,
it looked like an opening to him. I'm like, you're
yeah.
Other people were walking by and they just turn and watch. The guy bounced right off that wall. It was great.
So do you think this could lead to Toys R Us actually returning at some point, or do you think it's not really possible?
No, I think the days of dedicated toy stores like that are gone. just from my experience as a Santa, we've talked about this before. Like the toys kids ask for are like Fortnite. They want Fortnite. They want
Me too. Me too.
Minecraft. Right? They're Fortnite, Minecraft, Legos.
My son and his best friend didn't talk for like 3 weeks because they got into a fight about if Fortnite or Minecraft was better, and they were sticking to their sides. And his best friend was picked Fortnite, and I was like, "Your friend's right, and you're wrong."
So when I'm feeling ornery as Santa, and kids come up, sometimes it happens from time to time where two brothers will come up, and one of them says, "I want Fortnite, this, that, other." The other will come up and say, "Oh, I want Minecraft, blah, blah, blah." I say, "Oh, okay, which is better?" Right? Just start the fight right there. Right? Like, like you're standing in front of Santa, fight, go.
Whoever pleases me will get the best gifts this year. Show your bravery, children.
Right? Like you guys are on the nice list, right? And then so it's fun, but right, there is a divide. People who are one side or the other of that argument. So it's funny.
Nikki, that's what I do. When they want to get toys, I'm like, let's go to Dollar Tree, and then they just get that little I spent money on something dopamine hit, and it's the same. So that's why I would probably never go back to the toy store. I mean, in reality,
and five and below, that's another good hit. A kid approached me at church the other day, a friend of the family, and he says, "Hey Brian, I saw this thing at Five and Below. I wanted to get it for you, but my dad wouldn't let me buy it. It was a Star Wars like walkie-talkie set." It's like, oh.
Five and Below sounds like something that we can't explain on YouTube without getting demonetized.
Well, it's $5 or less.
I know.
Yeah.
It sounds.
It sounds
like trucker slang to me almost, or something.
I have to explain it to Meg, or she's going to think you can get hamburgers there. You know, no, Meg, no, five.
I think Meg would have a better creative explanation for what Five Below.
I keep trying to steer you away from that, Jason. So much fun, so much fun. Hey, so we do have some Star Wars stuff to talk about, and one of them I saw this morning. I'll bring it up here. Is we do have, and Meg talked about a little bit in her video today. There's a new TV bit here for Andor, and so and Hasbro PulseCon was announced September 30th, October 1st, and you see I put please let there be blurs, right? Like hopefully we'll see, but anyway, there's that, but then. So you tweeted it this morning, so thank you for that. I was able to find it, or last night, and Meg posted as well. We've got this thing.
Yeah.
Let me mute it. Cool. Yeah. So I see scenes in there that we saw some footage. So our friend Darth Elvis, some know him as Darth Cheeks or Greg Robertson. He actually went out gamers. He went out to the site where they were filming. I believe it's in Scotland, and you can see Scotland show up right in the trailer coming up. Hold on, Scotland. There it is. That's Scotland. There. That's the pictures that Greg posted on our Discord some time ago. So not much new there. But just again, a reminder that it's coming August 30th. And there was a question like, when is the full-blown trailer going to come out? Are we going to get another trailer? I said as early as my birthday, so Friday, or the first week in August. I think there's a strong argument that it might be held off until then, but somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks before the show starts, and getting this, Meg saying August 1st. Yeah,
could be one of the other. That's kind of what I think too. I think the The thing I've been trying to figure out though, because it comes out on the 31st, does that mean that we would have most of the print stuff hitting around the 1st of August? Or will they have the print stuff come after the show airs the day after because it's only by a day? They're so close. I could
Hmm.
see them like doing maybe both, but probably one or the other. So I'm curious if we're going to have like a bunch of promotion in August, or if they're going to start promoting as it hits, because
It's a good
it's
question.
right there, like with print periodicals or whatever, hitting on the 1st or around some. But you usually get them around like the day before the 1st of the month too, and that's like when the show hits. So I'm curious how they
Yeah,
handle this
well,
one.
that's really good. Entertainment Weekly just released theirs, and what I've seen lately is they change magazines, whichever one they're going to let kind of lead with the big one
Mm-hmm.
every month, and it seems like Entertainment Weekly is up on the last one. So, which publication will release it, and will it be the day before, the day of, or the day after the trailer?
Yeah.
It's a really good
Right.
question.
Yeah, because they love Anthony Bresnikan, and he used to be at EW. Then he went to Vanity Fair when they like decided to go a different direction with EW. But then EW quickly was like, "Oh, this doesn't make sense," and went right back to trying to be what they were, which is a bad move on their part because they lost Anthony Bresnikan. Who so I have a feeling though that Vanity Fair would not want to continually run Star Wars like how they did that big Star Wars issue that they did. I think they kind of exhausted it for a little time on them. So I think EW is kind of getting lucky off of that. It's kind
I
of
see.
where I'm. Yeah, I think that's how it's
I see.
washing out this time.
I see. Yeah. I saw Shiva ask Meg, what's wrong with Scotland? She said, well, it's not England. And there's Ducky saying, well, it's Scotland's better than England. I think, Shiva, it's the same reason that those of us here in Ohio hate Michigan, because it's not Ohio. It's
Oh,
that state up
oh,
north.
is that a
We don't
thing?
even call it. Oh, we don't. So and I see my friend Dominic in the chat. He is a Michigan fan, and we won't even say the name of the state during the football season, college football season. It's that state up north, right?
Yeah.
So TTUN or that.
Michigan
And that
doesn't have a lot going for it. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be honest with everyone here.
it's
I don't
it's
know.
only got the UP,
Sorry.
which is not really even part of Michigan. Like how they claim the UP, that's a grift right there. Like, really, is it really part of Michigan? Like, it's not even connected to Michigan. Like, I had to build a bridge to make it like to get there. Right? It's more Canada than Michigan, and they claim it. What's up with that? Appropriation. So, yeah, there's Dominic. I knew he was there. So that's the same reason that Meg is harshing on Scotland. Is it's not.
You know what I like about Scotland was somebody was when they were filming The Last Jedi, they went and they were like, it was too far away and I wanted to get you a good picture of the Falcon and I couldn't do it. He's like, so I got a telescope and I looked at it from the telescope. Then I just put my camera into the telescope and he got me like this like circular perfect picture of the Falcon. And I was like, Scottish people, they know how to make it happen. I was very proud of them.
Nice,
So,
nice.
I'm Team Scotland today.
Team Scotland. Well, so Andor's coming. I think it's exciting, and really, really looking forward to the show coming out. I know Meg is big on it. I think for the most part, everybody is really positive on it. I want to throw this question on screen here because I mentioned to you right before we. Oops, hold on. Right before we came on screen on live stream. And our friend Ducky asked this question, and I wanted to bring it up because we'll talk about it later. And this is a good question. You see him on the on the thumbnail. There's this $1 thing. For just $1 a month, you can support the channel on Patreon. And in that Patreon, you can do like Ducky did and ask a Patreon-only live stream question that we'll talk about here. And so this is a question that Ducky posed. we'll talk about it later. I'll propose it now so that other folks can see it as well. Of all the leaks and rumors out there, what are you most hyped for and most hoping is false? So what are you hoping is true, and what are you hyped for, and what are you hoping is false? That we'll talk about that in a bit. But for those of you watching, what do you think? What are you most hyped for? What do you hope is false?
Don't steal mine. Don't steal mine. I'll get mad.
I haven't shared what mine is, so Jason and I will talk about that here in a little bit. But that's of all the leaks and rumors out there, what do you hope is true? What are you most excited for? And what do you hope is false? And Andor might be one of those things. There are some leaks and rumors about Andor. Do you hope some of them are true? You hope some of them are false? What is it? There's that. There's this book. There's this book coming. It's called The Princess and the Scoundrel. Jason, you've heard of this book?
Barely.
Yeah.
Barely. It doesn't sound... It's going to have to work hard to get me interested in this one. I don't know.
Yeah. I've been trying to keep up with all of the new canon novels. For the most part, really enjoying them. And I got myself an Audible subscription. I got a Amazon Kindle Unlimited subscription. And I'm trying to decide, do I want to spend my credits on this thing? Or do I just want to check this out of the public library when it comes available? And I know that the Halcyon Cruiser is something that folks are like, oh, this is just marketing, Disney, whatever. Okay.
Well,
maybe
Leia divorces him after this one, right? She's like, I can't believe you spent $6,000 on this. We're having a baby. Is that what happens in this one?
That's probably what caused the whole problem. You know, she got the credit card bill in the mail after their honeymoon. It was like, get out.
Yeah,
go on.
Like, this is ridiculous. So we could have went to Scotland.
Right. Hey, there's Fitz with the €5 super chat. Ireland is better than Scotland. We had Last Jedi filmed here. Best movie. You know, that's true. Ireland does have Octo. You know, that.
Oh, yeah. Island. You know what? You guys are all the same to me. You're right. I messed that up earlier. Sorry.
You're all the same. Yeah, it's
white
Europe
people and green
know.
stuff. It's all the same at one point. I mean, you know, Wookiees and Chewbacca's.
Y'all talk funny anyway. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what geography is.
It's an island. You talk weird. Ireland, Scotland, same thing.
Highlander messed me up, okay? Because in Highlander, he's like a Highlander, but then he's French, and then the English guy is the French guy. I don't know what's going on anymore. So it's never been right since it says 86 when I saw that movie.
I will say that my family does come from Ireland. McFarland was my grandmother's maiden name. Her mother was Julia Melissa McFarland, and they came to the U.S. from Ireland. And they some of our family have been doing genealogy searches and stuff, and found that it actually goes back to Scotland, and that they migrated from Scotland to Ireland before migrating from Ireland to the U.S. So that's sort of my family history. So anyway.
Hey, are you hungry for potatoes? Do potatoes sound good?
They do sound. Yeah. Boil them, mash them, put them in a stew, like all of that. It's good. So Ireland is not the UK, apart from the north. Apart from the part that the UK won't give back to Ireland. It's, you know, except for the part they stole and won't give back. Then the
you
rest
can't
of
spell suck without uck. Just saying. No, sorry.
Oh my goodness. Very fun. Very fun.
Everybody's going to hate me today. Like all of Europe is just like, this guy sucks.
These guys are idiots. Yeah. What are they doing? New Star Wars book. So not only do we have the Halcyon, but there's this excerpt. So you can actually read part of the story, and here it is. Here, I read through it yesterday.
Okay, so I'm Leia and you're Han. Let's do it. No,
Oh,
I
oh no!
Hold
right.
me like you did back at the lake on Naboo.
we should get Meg or Sheev to come on and read the narrator part. It was right after. So this is right after Andor, right? And it says Han cursed, "You son of a," debriefing with generals, other generals, because now he had that rank too. I'm a general. Who do you think you are? Get on out of here.
Let's misunderstand this. He was cursing at Leia. What did he say? What did he call her? I think it was the B word, you guys.
Right. Meg. That's not... let me get the link and send it over to Meg, and we'll see if she can join in the nonsense. Here we go. So so they're all having a planning meeting, and he wasn't invited to the meeting. Right, so that's the gist of what's going on here. They're all going to a meeting. It said here they're having a strategy meeting and about what to do with the Imperials that are left over, and nobody invited him, and that's fine. Fine, be that way.
He's an idiot. It makes sense. I love Han Solo, but he is dumb. You know,
they just need to tell him where to fly and what to shoot. It's good for that part. The best, sure, he had some decent ideas in the past. Yeah, like you said, I'm smart. I'm smart. What's wrong with you guys?
I'm smart.
Have your stupid meeting without me. Go ahead.
You know, I would always write Chewbacca as cursing, because that's funnier, because you don't know what he's saying. Oh, hey, Meg.
Hello.
Oh, you're very quiet. Hold on, let me turn your volume up a little bit. Have you read this preview, Meg?
No, I haven't.
You haven't. Oh, this will be even more fun then. We can get your reaction live right now. So here we can pick back up from the story. They're having a meeting, and Han wasn't invited. Right?
Oh,
I got good ideas. All that. Sure, that's decent ideas, but that's over. You guys go and have your meeting. All right. Who gets to be Chewbacca? You want to be Chewbacca, Jason?
I am Chewbacca.
Okay.
Roar.
Yeah, I get you. I haven't forgotten, though. You know that, right? We're headed back to Kashyyyk as soon as possible. Kicking the Imperials off your world. You've got a family to take care of. All right, Meg.
Chewie started to grumble, but Han cut him off.
No, we stick to our plan. It was always for you to go home as soon as we had a break.
Ruff.
He grabbed the rung of one of the ladders leading up to the tree village. While the leaders of the rebellion had set up a base on the ground in order to be closer to the ships in the clearing and the immediate action they anticipated, it was a little more than a large tent with a few smaller ones nearby to handle the overflow of quartering pilots and ground troops. The Ewok huts were far more comfortable. How long are these fucking sentences? Sorry. The Ewok huts were far more comfortable living quarters. Beneath him, the ladder swung as Chewie followed Han up. His added weight throwing Han off balance for moments before he could adjust.
Whoa there, buddy. Whoa.
Oh, it's me again.
Yeah.
Leia hadn't been at the debriefing. Sorry. Han knew that she'd be elsewhere recording messages for allies, and he knew that the others would catch her up to speed, but he wanted to see her. Han's track record with love wasn't necessarily the best, but this thing with Leia, it felt like more than he could quantify it. It just felt more. He tried to walk away more than once, maybe if he'd been able to leave Hoth when planned. Han had meant it when he told Leia he'd exit her life if she wanted. Of course, that was before he knew Luke and Leia were siblings, before he knew a lot of things, before he experimented with Chewie. But he'd meant his words. Jason's killing me. But he'd meant his words. He would have left, not for his own benefit, but for hers.
Chewbacca, what's the clitoris? Is that where this is going?
I think so. Every other time in Han's life, when he walked away, he did it for himself. But not that time. Instead of letting him leave, though, she'd come to him. And Han didn't know if he could just let her go again, especially not after how much time he'd already lost. He'd been frozen on Bespin, and by the time he'd woken up again, blind and disoriented with hibernation sickness. So much time had passed. Leia had loved him for nearly a whole year, and Vader had stolen that year from him. Han wasn't going to let more time slip through his fingers.
Oh.
Oh my god, there's more. Instantly, he became aware that Chewie had been talking to him. Han hooked his leg over the top of his shoulder, the ladder, and landed with a thud of his boots on the wooden walkway of the village.
Yeah, buddy.
Chewie swung himself up, big arms, balancing before he landed fully. He roared, half in amusement, half in dismay.
That's what Chewbacca sounds like, you guys.
Sorry. Sorry. I've got things on my mind. There you go, now, Jason. You're gonna be Leia.
Oh, am I just a thing?
Hey, now. You don't occupy my every thought, princess.
Just the horny ones.
Right?
It's Leia again.
You sure about that?
She asked, smirking. I nearly called her lips
Now,
soy. Her
this
soy
word gets
lips,
spicy.
just begging to be kissed, and Han blinked for several moments, incapable of doing anything more than blink at her.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just. Oh, wait a minute. This is you again.
I was
Leia.
just thinking, I was just looking for you. Mom told me about the plans discovered on the Imperial base, and I just wanted to check with the general who made the discovery.
You sound like Herbert from Family Guy.
That was my grandpa's name. True story.
So Leia keep speaking. Keep going.
All right.
No, Jason, go ahead.
The time of that base communications, even if we haven't been able to decrypt most of the decoded contents yet, indicate that there's far more at play here than we originally thought.
Grumbling, Chewie left the two.
I'm ruining it. I'm sorry.
Not doing that. Grumbling, Chewie left the two of them alone, heading deeper into the village. Han was too focused on Leia to really register his friend walking off, though. His mind raced with the impossibility of his thoughts. Him and a princess. It couldn't possibly work in the long run.
All right, Leia.
We've been monitoring a lot of traffic in the note system in particular, and I want to see if any of the transmissions you intercepted indicated that, or perhaps you saw something in the base. Not everything needs to be online. Physical transportation of sector codes could indicate.
Man, no wonder why they made a baby. This is hot. This is steamy.
Since when did Han care about the long term, though?
Han?
I want you.
Me? For what?
Forever.
Leia's confusion shifted to something else, something he couldn't quite read. He never could tell everything going on in her mind, and he loved that about her. He loved her. She was a princess, the face of the rebellion, the new government's greatest hope, a symbol more than a person. But she was also just Leia. She was his. Han needed her the same way he needed the Falcon. Sure, he could ride her, but sure he could fly without her. But what was the point?
Go on.
Marry me.
Oh god, it's an essay.
What's she gonna say? She doesn't even answer.
Leia, usually so calm and collected with the ability to face down Vader himself, could not hide her shock in the moment. Her eyes widened, her lips parted, the rest of her body stilled, frozen in surprise. Jason, stop it. Han felt the corner of his lips twisting up, watching as Leia didn't try to hide her shock. She didn't hide her desire either. He was hers too.
She's like,
But he had a grander destiny than he could comprehend, elbows deep in politics, and someone who would always be doing. Even now, even though neither of them had physically moved, Han could see Leia spinning away from him, out of his grasp. So he reached out to her. He took her hand, rubbed the place on her finger where a ring would go. Why is this worded so strangely? Han was sure the same questions flying through his mind were in hers as well. How many people were already discussing marriages and settling down with folks they'd only known in combat? It was a common enough thing. Emotions ran high after battle. People felt the need to grasp at life when faced with the death of war. The flip side of fighting was loving, and there was a hell of a lot of energy that needed to be redirected somewhere. This was the part where Han was supposed to tip his chin, laugh and say it was all a joke, but he didn't. He didn't flinch as he watched.
psych!
Doubt clouded Leia's face. He stood there and he waited for her to realize the same truth he knew. They were better together. And marriage, well, it was a formality, but it was also a promise. One he intended to keep.
Yes.
The end.
That's it. That's
it. I mean,
Just
I think we
yes.
should maybe do some radio dramas, guys. Like, I think we can make it. I think we can do it better than they do it. You know?
I think so too. This is why I will not be purchasing this book. I'm just not into Star Wars romance novels. Meg, is this on your purchase list?
No.
No.
Yeah. Isn't this where is that like Poe Dameron conceived here too? Am I misremembering that? But I think aren't they like in the Ewok village knocking boots and then we get a Poe Dameron and they go to Yavin after that?
I'm trying to think. Is Poe roughly the same age as Kylo, or just a little bit older than Kylo?
I thought he was like this. You know what? Maybe I'm wrong. It's been a while. I need to go back and read all that. I just remember like Luke Skywalker getting bonsai trees and taking them to Yavin and stuff. And it's been a little while. So.
Yeah, I just these kind of books don't do it for me.
Yeah.
Not even with Jason's narration.
I mean, my Chewbacca. I mean, I brought a lot of heart to the role, like stuff Peter Mayhew couldn't do, stuff they wouldn't allow him to do. To be fair,
You sounded like an angry poodle.
that sounds right.
Some of the comments in the chat were fantastic. Right, Nikki, Lucas is dying from cringe right now. Yeah, it's really bad.
I think Lucas was like, "This is pretty good." Like he's like, "This is Attack of the Clones good right now." He's like, "When's Han going to bring up sand?" No. So sorry, Nikki. Nikki's like, "This guy in his tapes."
Oh, it's so bad. It is just so bad. I'm just not into Star Wars romance novels. There's another one based around the Galaxy's Edge, Black Spire Outpost. It's a romance novel as well. I didn't care for it. And
Backdrop
one of the High
matters,
Republic,
right? Backdrop matters about where that stuff is taking place. Like Lost Stars, you put that romance against the backdrop of the conflict, and it resonates differently.
Yeah, well, I think that's what made the romance in, say, the original trilogy, right? The original Han and Leia kind of thing. The context of their romance through the movies works.
Well, don't forget when you were like 5, and like Leia kisses Luke on the cheek before they swing on the chasm. Like you're like, yeah.
I was a Luke and Leia shipper before they were brother and sister, right? That's
right.
For me. I wanted the good guy to get the girl, not the.
Me too. I remember figuring out that Leia was his sister from the storybook that a kid got like at the store and brought back before the movie came out. Different times.
I'm way younger, so.
You're
it was
not
never
100,
not.
so. Makes
Right.
sense.
It's just look. I think the larger story matters more. I was going to say there's another High Republic novel that is also a bit of a romance novel, and it works a little bit better because there is a story going on. You're learning about the relationship through the story, but still not my favorite. Not my favorite. For me, I prefer just the action and
Yeah.
adventure
Yeah, this
of it
one
all.
not for us, right? I mean, which is fine. If that like there are people who love romance novels and that kind of stuff, and I think this is trying to do like that kind of crossover thing for them.
Yep.
And I'm okay with it personally. I mean, I'll read the whole thing out loud if you guys want to, though. I mean, my Chewbacca.
Oh.
I still have. I feel like I still have a lot to say with the character. So if you guys ever want to, just send me the ebook.
I can't stop thinking, how are you able to do such an impressive, accurate dog impersonation? And then I realize it's not your first time.
No, it's not. It's not. I have a collar and everything. You know, I pay somebody several $100s for the training. I have a little cage, a little tiny cage, little bone, a little bone necklace. It's pretty adorable. It just says, it has a little thing and it says Baka. That's my name.
You guys
Baka.
are killing me. Oh, I haven't laughed so hard. There's the other bit of news, Jason, and we won't talk about it much here. We'll kind of give a preview for your show this afternoon. I'm going to presume that you're going to be talking about that Light and Magic docuseries.
Yeah, if you're free, you're welcome. I hope you could join us if you are free.
I might.
Okay.
So I had the opportunity to preview it as well. I watched the series. There's 6 episodes in all. And the first 2 are very Star Wars intensive. Very good. After that, you start to see other things that ILM were involved in. And I mentioned this before, and I'll bring it up again here. And we won't talk much about Light and Magic here. We'll talk about that during your show. But if you've not watched the movies that made us on Netflix, there is a lot of crossover. ILM was involved in many of the movies that made us, and not just Star Wars. And a lot of people make those associations, right? Lucasfilm is Star Wars, ILM is Star Wars. Well, it is, but it's also more, right? Just like Lucasfilm is also Jason's favorite series of all time, right?
What? What? What's going on?
No, Willow, right? It's also Willow. It's also
They gave Willow some like serious love about what Willow and the Abyss, I think, get a lot of like earned visual effects love in that series, which is good.
Yeah, and ILM is involved in other projects like Terminator, and so it's worth watching. As you mentioned, the Abyss, things like that.
The stuff with Phil Tippett is the best. The best parts for me.
Yeah.
I almost feel like if they had the footage, this would have actually been a Phil Tippett documentary. I think they had a lot of Phil Tippett footage, but I think that when you get down to it, like he was the most human of everybody in the story. Dykstra, is a human, but he's also like the bad guy to some extent. They did a good job of not villainizing him too hard, but they also pulled back on some of that stuff a little bit more than I thought they should have as well. I think, to be fair to him, but like, Lucas paid, like the big argument at the time was Lucas hired John Dykstra to make the quote Dykstra Flex, which he named it that. And then it just came out of nowhere, but he named it that. And then he tried to take it elsewhere after Star Wars was done. And Lucas was like, no, that was my R&D I paid for to own the but anyways, Phil Tippett becomes like the guy who, he talks about like struggles with like mental illness and like, his family and his wife, and how like in a weird way, like these like manic episodes would lead to him making really good art and being able to go like 3 days straight on something super hard. And like, that's the, I was like, whoa, that makes a lot of sense. And that's really interesting. But then on the other side of it, my critique of it would be, they didn't talk about the come down. what was the come down like for Phil Tippett with his, you know what I mean, and all that kind of stuff.
The words you're saying, are you listening to the words you're saying as you're saying them?
Calm down.
3 days. He went 3 days hard.
3 days hard, man.
And then it was about to come down. I was like,
Come down, dude.
Jason.
Yeah, I know.
Jason always says when he watches Solo a Star Wars story, he's hard.
It's true. It's true. Make Solo 2 happen.
Oh my gosh.
Why I said that. But yeah, no, but I mean, so anyways, though, but like the human side of the story is where it gets good when you see Phil Tippett become like redundant. And this stuff is like kind of spoilery, but it's also not spoilery because it's stuff that's been out in ILM stories and making of docs and everything like that to some extent before. So
yeah, that's why I mentioned the Netflix series. So you've got till the 27th. I think the show, the docuseries releases on Disney Plus on the 27th. You have between now and then to catch that Netflix series, The Movies That Made Us. There is a lot of overlap, and you see Tippett in a lot of those episodes as well. And as mentioned, the ILM was involved in E.T. They were involved in Indiana Jones. They were involved in a lot of these other shows that are the movies that made us. And our perspective of ILM is often too narrow. And by watching all of these, and I think this docuseries, and again, we'll talk about it more in your show, does a good job of kind of expanding your knowledge of ILM's involvement in some of these other projects. But the movies that made us on Netflix shows just within each of those how they were moving them forward. Jurassic Park, for example.
The big thing that I found interesting about it though was like as a kid, I followed ILM like all the time. Like I bought like all the magazines and stuff about how they did the effects and would read all the interviews and stuff. And it was kind of like how you view like being a rock star or music. You're like, do these good songs, get signed, happily ever after. And like that's kind of how ILM always appeared. They went and they did Star Wars, and then they were just good. They were like good forever. But you have like Star Wars comes out, and then they're like, well, the job is done. The company barely exists, and people are like, well, what do we do now? And then some people were like getting offers to go do commercials and to go do other projects, and they're like, just wait like a month, just like don't eat for a month, so that and then we're gonna have something else for you, you know. And stuff like that. And you're like, you know, you don't really think of it in those terms because those people weren't George Lucas. A lot of people in the documentary obviously probably ended up very wealthy and very well off in the big picture. But initially, and for the first couple of first decade, not necessarily as solid or as stable as you would think, you know?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
That was interesting.
And Mega, you are in London. You're having a record heat wave in London.
Indeed.
I saw that they announced a bit of a national emergency of sorts.
Thank you,
today,
David.
Right? Plenty warm there.
It is very hot. It's 40 degrees.
Those two suns.
That
I know
explains-
Baymax wrote us this morning some stuff, and then he's like, I'm going to the beach or to the lake, whatever. He said, go to some water source. And I was like, I'm like half asleep, and I'm like, that piece of shit. Because I was like a joking with him. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. No, that guy's like going there to like survive right now because it's
well, I think he's in New Jersey right now.
Oh, is he back here? Oh, well, whatever, man. Oh, come on.
40 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that's 105.
It's 40 degrees at the North Pole right now where Santa's at.
Let's see. Yeah, 104. So that's a lot of hot especially for London.
Yeah, very warm.
It's not like it's Phoenix, Arizona. It's London, and typically more moderate temperatures there. So, yeah. So,
but Meg right now. See, here's the thing: is Meg doesn't come on camera, but what she really has is she has like two little people on both sides of her with those like fans, like doing this. She's fine. She has like a mint julep in her hand right now. She's like,
oh, Jason, don't be so obtuse. There's 3 people, not 2.
I forgot. No, it's her human footstool. I forgot about the human footstool. I always forget about Stu. stew the human footstool. But
I don't know what he's
Okay.
been telling you.
Hey, so what about the Book of Boba Fett season 2 thing? I know both of you talked about it, but for those here and for our discussion, what are your thoughts about the Book of Boba Fett season 2? Is it a real thing? Is it a not real thing? Is it continuation of the Mando story? What's going on there?
My guess is that this Mando season 4 thing that Jon Favreau is working on is the Book of Boba Fett season 2. I think it was always a given in some way, shape, or form. And to be honest, I'm really excited about it because I didn't hate everything about Book of Boba. There's so many things I loved about it. Chapters 1 to 4 in particular for me were just awesome storytelling. So I really hope they continue that and maybe listen to Tamar Morrison a bit.
Excellent.
Yeah, I hope Meg's analysis is correct. And I feel the same way about it. Like Book of Boba Fett, I don't like the structure. I think the structure was just really messy, but there's a lot of stuff I love in there. And so I think if they do a season 2, it's a chance for improvement. So I don't see it as a bad thing. I'm not like, I didn't like the first thing entirely, so therefore I don't want 2. No, I actually want 2 because I think that they could do a better job with it. But I'm not sold on that image meaning what it could mean. For instance, number one is have we had it confirmed if it's real, like 100% if it's real? Have we had a second version of it pop up anywhere that seems credible? Because that's important to me. And then the other thing is that we have a language barrier, and it could have been a typo. It could have been an assumption. When you look at the text for the Mandalorian below it, it could literally be a copy and paste formatting of the Mandalorian stuff. And they might have just actually like put it to season 2 there, not knowing how to change it, and it got through. I'm just like, it could be clerical errors, what I'm trying to say. And so I'm not completely convinced. So I'm really on the fence about it.
There's one thing that really confuses me because it came from Argentina, but I don't believe they even have Disney Plus. So it could have been like an unconfirmed pamphlet that kind of mixed together things whoever made it heard, rumors and whatever else. It could just be a placeholder for what they assume will be a season 2.
So there not being a Disney Plus in Argentina, like, do you think it's coming and that's what the pamphlet's about?
Well, it is available in Argentina. I just pulled it up for 385 Argentinian dollars a month.
What is that though?
No, it's
okay.
$3,800 a year. You can subscribe to Disney Plus. Argentinian, you have to do.
So they do have it.
Conversion, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's something.
So when they didn't have it, I was like, well, that's a big red flag. But since they do have it, there should be second sources on this. There should be other people that are like, I saw it too somewhere. So maybe we should do some tweets and ask for Star Wars
use a
fans in
VPN
Argentina to see if somebody in Argentina can get us more on it.
We do have an Argentinian supporter here who often shows up in the chat. He was the first real big winner of the giveaways that I do every month.
Before Ducky Momo came in and started.
Before Ducky came in and started monopolizing it all. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we do have an Argentinian supporter, so we can reach out to, for Coachella Lopez. You'll see him show up from time to time.
Help us, Lopez. You're our only hope. Please.
That's it. I want to believe it. We'll come back to this question that I asked earlier, and Meg, if you missed that question, it's of all the leaks and rumors out there, what are you most hyped for? Hope is true, and what do you hope is false? So, not answer it just yet, but throw that in the hopper of things to think about.
And we're able to do like one for Mando and one for. Are we able to do whatever?
No, we're going to do. We can, but let's do of all. Which is your most? There's another topic I want to bring up.
I'm saying though. Do I have to pick Andor or do I have to pick Mando? Or
you could pick whichever one you like. It could be Andor. It could be about the Book of Boba Fett season 2. It could be Mandalorian season 3. any of the rumors, which are you hoping is true, or which are you most excited for, and which are you really hope is false, right? Which do you really hope is false? So the other topic it's an old article of yours, Jason, that you published, but it's making its rounds again. It was on Nerd Theory last night, and of course, when they talk about things, it kind of stirs it back up, which is hopefully good for your website. Hopefully you get some traffic there today.
No, their people don't read anything. They're completely irrelevant to me, unfortunately.
I watched Nerd Theory and they completely forgot to mention Jason came up with had most of these scoops.
Yeah, Josh covered it on his show yesterday. Like, he did a recorded bit, and he read it directly from Making Star Wars, so he did give credit there. But on Nerd Theory, they didn't really go into the source of it. He did give Bespin Bulletin some credit for something I'm not sure Bespin Bulletin wants credit for. It was about the whole Pedro Pascal drama, and that he wasn't involved in any shooting for.
I'm pretty sure there's no more drama.
There was never any drama. That's what's me.
There was a thing.
Both Bespin. Okay, so here's what it is. I'm gonna clarify. I want to set the record straight on this. Like, once, just please, everybody, pay attention. In season 1 of The Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal wasn't cast yet. If you look, I had the casting on Pedro that already started filming, and he wasn't put in. Oh, whoa! I got the big fat face camera. So then what happens is Pedro's not cast. They're using the IG-11 stand-in, all the stuff. Everybody, John Wayne's grandson, they're all doing The Mandalorian for it, right? So what happens is during the actual negotiations, he wanted his face shown. He's like, if I'm going to be in this, and I'm not a voice actor, I want my face shown. So Bob Iger is like, we're not going to pay this guy. We're not going to pay this guy like this is just voice work. And he's like, then I need my face shown. Becomes a big thing. Well, then what happens? That happens all during season 1. And I'm told all about this stuff. I put out Pedro is the Mandalorian because I knew it all. And then season 2 gets rolling, and what's her name? The
Kathy
blonde
Kennedy.
lady. No, the blonde lady who does like Marvel scoops and stuff.
Grace Randolph.
Grace Randolph.
Grace Randolph hears a version of what was going on in season 1. She puts it onto season 2 and makes it sound like and she thinks that there's like a contract dispute and all this stuff going on. And then this is all happening right as Boba is getting ready to go into production, and it's taking a change. So what she's hearing is like, she's actually hearing stuff that is going on, and it gets transformed into this whole other like story that just is not accurate. It was old information from season 1 permeating into season 2 and Book of Boba Fett era film scoopers circles. Like, it just took a long time for it to get out. I never put out the drama. I don't really cover that usually. So then what ends up happening is when we get to this last season, both of us did not, me and Bespin knew that Pedro Pascal was not playing the Mandalorian on any of the days during the main shooting and during the reshoots until they got to another round of reshoots that Bespin just covered. And that's when they did the inserts for Pedro Pascal. So it gets turned into this thing about there's this like ongoing drama. This is drama, if you want to call it drama. It was negotiations from 2018. And it continued. And so it's not a thing. If it was a thing, I would say it was, but it's just not.
So how does that tie into the This Is Us contract that he did?
Because he was doing that series, right? And then there was times when he could have came back and done the Mandalorian. People were like, why isn't he doing it? Well, it's because the people on the Mandalorian, their stuff didn't work with that. The schedule, just because Pedro's open doesn't mean Favreau's open. Doesn't mean everything down in Manhattan Beach is ready for Pedro just at that moment because that's when it lined up. So that's my understanding of this whole thing, and it keeps coming back, and it's not really a thing. I think the big takeaway is don't expect a lot of Pedro Pascal with his helmet off in this season after he goes to the Mines of Mandalore. And the Mines of Mandalore stuff was made was actual like physical like stuff that they put down onto the ground. They could do it in the volume, and they actually had like a physical set on the exterior lot. So point being, they just put that wall right there, and then Pedro Pascal stands in front of it, and you're not going to be able to tell that he wasn't there the whole time. So it's not really drama. It's not really a thing. It's actually very boring in the big picture until we get these people that take movie productions and treat them as if they're WWE when they're just not. It's really very drab. It's just what it is. At the end of the day.
Nikki gave us a $5 super chat. People can defend Pedro all they want, but he's Hollywood. They always want to be front and center. They've got big egos. They are actors, actresses, right?
He's a rich kid from Newport Beach. If you've ever seen Arrested Development and the people in that's where he's from. He is the people in Arrested Development. That is his upbringing. Like I live down the street from there. Those people, they don't eat with us commoners, and it's a completely different thing. So, yeah,
very good. What? No, I appreciate.
What Bestman Bulletin? Are you kidding me right now?
Did he text you?
She just texted me that Jaleel White is possibly joining a Star Wars project. Go to bestmanbulletin.com. Go to bestmanbulletin.com right now. The latest rumor comes from a celebrity gossip page, and I know what you're thinking, but the reason I bring this up is because the same outlet that revealed Jude Law had a Star Wars project weeks before it was announced, the Fantastic Beast star landed a role in Skeleton Crew. It's the reason that he's bringing it up, and they're saying Urkel is in Star Wars.
Urkel in Star Wars confirmed. No, it's rumor. Like for Skeleton Crew, right?
Mm-hmm.
They realize
it's a Star Wars project. It's all it says is a Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
Project, yeah.
Well, Bestman put the Skeleton Crew poster in there.
Yeah, I mean, the only things it could be right now, I mean, realistically, if he's filming stateside, would be Ahsoka or Skeleton Crew. And I would assume that most of Ahsoka's been cast by now, probably.
Well, people realize Jaleel White has grown up, right? Like he's not this guy anymore.
He sells weed now. He has purple Urkel. I'm not even kidding. That's like his thing. He has a weed strain based off of Urkel. So that's cool.
Well, there you go.
Did I do that? That's what he says on that show.
I'm not overly familiar with White's work, so I can't offer an opinion whether it's good casting. Even more so, when very little is known about the project he's joining, right? We don't know what he would be in. Must stress this is a rumor. It's a British kind of rumor with a U in it. If you want to keep up to date, blah, blah, blah. Follow Bestman Bulletin. All right. So we'll throw that in. We'll throw that.
You have to be that one guy. That wasn't on my 2022 bingo card. I'll be that guy. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Right. So throw that into the hopper of rumors you hope are true or not.
That's the one I hope isn't true. No.
we do have the so I was leading into your story that Bo-Katan is supposed to get the Mythosaur armor, become the ruler of Mandalore, right?
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. And
it's pretty metal too. What I hear it's pretty cool.
It should be. Do you have any kind of reservations about Bo being the next ruler of Mandalore versus Din?
Not really. I mean, it's been the backdrop of Bo-Katan's character since her sister was on the throne. When you get down to it, I mean, it's always been a part of this whole thing, and in the Clone Wars, it's went into Rebels, didn't it? Even. And it's always been like where she's the one who like takes it seriously though. Like when Maul becomes Mandalore, she's like, no, this isn't right. This isn't like I hate to say it, this isn't our way. This isn't the way. And,
Yeah.
and so like yeah, at the end of the day, Din, if Din becomes it, fine. I mean, that's very predictable. But if he becomes it, it kind of what do you do with him after that?
Good point. Good point. Meg, what are your thoughts about Din not being the next ruler of Mandalore?
I don't think he will be.
Were you on? Would you prefer that he would be, or it doesn't matter?
I am Team Sabine,
Yeah, I am too.
but I can kind of see why Bo-Katan would be. It's a logical character arc, but again, as Jason says, what do you do with Din after that?
Yeah.
And like you want the Mandalorians to you don't want stability in Star Wars. With stability, there's no war. And so you need war to tell the stories. And so if you get somebody, if she becomes Mandalore, you're like, oh, we like the character, we respect her. But at the end of the day, we expect Din to take the moral high ground in the big picture. Whereas I could see her making mistakes that we completely believe that are fine, and then that leads to more conflict. Like that's kind of where I'm looking at it. Like it's from like a story opportunity, from the perspective of like what are the story opportunities here. And if Din's just like, I must protect my throne, once he does that once or twice, it's like then it becomes a so what, and then you just have this complication that he's supposed to be like the king. And with her, she seems like she's kind of a badass, but she's not going to take anything. She's going to eventually, I feel like, want to do something that would be in opposition to Din's moral compass. And there's just like, I think there's that opens up a lot of storytelling opportunities, stuff against the Republic. She's not going to care what the Republic wants, but what we've seen of Din is he'd be like, oh, what seems fair. And if it was real, we might want Din for president of Mandalore if we were living there, but it's not. So I want conflict. And I think Din would resolve it in the big picture.
So this question, I think, kind of leads into a point about the Darksaber that I keep saying, but I don't know that many people are.
That's what I said, Bespin. That's what I said. He hates you. I don't know why. I love you, Bespin.
No,
like
look,
Leia and Chewbacca and Han in that story we told earlier.
You said it was rumor.
Marry me.
You know, I don't want to give too much credence on something that may not be true. Let's wait until Bespin, when you say that it's confirmed true, you have a high trust in it, it's reliable, and you believe it to be the case, then I'll be happy to spend more time. And you did, just for the record, he did say it came from the same source that said Jude Law was going to be it, and Jude Law was confirmed, same source. Yeah. So Jaleel White, same source, could be in there.
Carl Weathers. Not Carl Weathers, Carl Winslow. I want Carl Winslow in it too. Remember when he was in Die Hard? That was pretty cool.
No.
That's a good Christmas movie.
The dad from Family Matters was first in Die Hard, and then I think that's why he got the role on Family Matters that became the Urkel show.
So the Darksaber does not bequeath rulership to the person who wields it.
Bequeath.
Yeah.
It does not.
He bequeathed. Oh, here we go. Did he get it?
Nice queef.
Thank you. Means a lot coming from you. Your queef.
It allows somebody to put their name in the hat. That's all, right? Having rightful possession of, however you want to, you've earned it through combat, allows you the right to put your name in the hat. It does not.
Quentin Queef Karga is Grief Karga's wife. Sorry.
That was a very loose joke.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Didn't have much lip to it.
See what you've done. See what you've done.
I guess we should tell more jokes later. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. What was I saying? Darksaber.
Does not mean to taint the show.
Oh my goodness! It doesn't grant somebody the leadership, the rule of Mandalore. Neither does, say, the helmet of Mandalore. Right? That it also gives somebody a ticket to the dance. Right? And might the Mythosaur armor be somewhat akin to having a ticket to the dance? You want to throw your name in?
Talks about the prophecy. That's the big thing, I think, right there. The Mythosaur that's brought up in the prophecy is the person that's supposed to lead, right? That's what the armorer says. And then I know she gets the armor, the Mythosaur armor. I mean, it would be kind of weird if it was Din and he was like, "Hey, you know what? It looks better on you."
I hate to be that person, but if we're talking about mythosaurs, shouldn't it be Boba Fett's?
That seemed to be the implication in the book of Boba Fett, but I'm thinking now it must have been a red herring, or maybe that's going to lead to future conflict. Maybe she's going to get it, and then he's going to be like, "Wait a minute, that's my thing." Could that be setting the stage?
Well, there is a camp of people who think that Boba Fett should be the next ruler of Mandalore, being his lineage, right?
Yeah, I mean, but we don't have. I hate to say, because there's been so many rumors and stuff like that, and I don't mean to imply that I know anything, and that Bespin should know anything. But both Bespin and I have never heard about Boba Fett. I don't think. Don't mean to speak for you, buddy, but I don't think we've heard about Boba Fett being in the Mandalorian season 3 at all. Not saying he's not, but we haven't heard anything. And I have a feeling if he was in as much as they keep saying he is, there would have been more. I know people work on it. People worked on it. They're like, if they were working with Boba Fett, they were telling me some minor characters who they were working with. They didn't mention Boba Fett. That's a big one to overlook. So I'm still a little bit about that whole thing about Boba Fett in this season. I almost wonder if all of this happens. I don't know what Boba Fett's supposed to be doing otherwise, but is he just ruling with respect on Tatooine while all this other stuff happens? And then he's like, "Hey, what happened, guys?" And then they tell him. I'm not sure. It's weird.
Jason, let me put this forward to you.
Okay.
How about a post-credit Mandalorian season 3 scene where we cut back to the palace and we see Fennec and Boba, and then it says Book of Boba Fett season 2 coming this December.
Oh.
Yeah. And the only reason I'm saying that is I know Ming-Na Wen is part of these reshoots.
So you know that she's part of it? Okay. That's cool.
She teased on her Instagram.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's time to address the question, right? Ducky Momo's question. Of all the leaks and rumors, what are you most hyped for, and what are you most hoping is false? So let's start with what is the one that you most hope is false?
Meg, you want to go first?
I'm team half full, so there's very few things I hope are false. I kind of don't want Bo-Katan to be the leader of Mandalore. Does that count?
Okay.
Sure, we'll take that. I'm going to take an absence of a person, and it's Jason Ward telling us that neither Darth Vader nor Palpatine are in Andor, right? So I would hope that one's false. That Palpatine or and Vader are both in Andor.
Everyone's gonna hate me on mine. I don't want to see Tamara Morrison acting with Tamara Morrison. I don't want the two clones in the same scene together. I feel like it's going to look like a game of like a soundboard, like when Rey was acting with the deceased Carrie Fisher. I feel like it's going to play like Back to the Future Part 2 as opposed to Star Wars, which is fun in Back to the Future Part 2. But I don't think it's a good idea to have like Rex in the same scene with, Cody or something, for instance. And there's been rumors of that kind of stuff, and I hope that doesn't happen. I'm cool with him being one at a time. But
I feel like you're both screwed. Mm-hmm. Because I think they are going to do the clone on clone thing, and I think there's zero chance Vader will appear in Andor. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but in my mind's eye, when I imagine Tamara Morrison with Tamara Morrison. I feel like it, like Quentin just said, multiplicity. That's what I feel like it would look like. And I just hope they really have the rhythm down if they do it. Because if the rhythm's not perfect then I'm setting up Meg right now. But if the rhythm's not perfect, then somebody's going to have a baby. That's my point. And that's not going to be a little bad baby, not a good baby.
So maybe if they did voiceover, right? Tim could voice both of them, but helmets on, right?
Helmets on, fine. Helmets on, that's cool because then you just have a double and then he voices both. That
Right.
works fine. I'm talking like helmets off. Two clones with Boba Fett, all in the same scene having a conversation. With what we've seen on Disney Plus in terms of like flow and the amount of time that they will spend on the subtle moments, I just don't have faith in it. I hope I'm wrong though. I would love to be wrong. I'm not betting. I'm not rooting against them, but I am betting against them.
Yeah, I get it. So which rumor or leak, whatever, would you most want to be true? Or what do you, I'll do it as two different questions. So which rumor are you most excited for? Like, you expect it to be true and you're excited for it. And which rumor would you hope is true that probably isn't? So, and I can lead on that second one. So the one that I hope is true but probably isn't are the Mando season 3 with the whole Ghost crew showing up. Just sign me up for that. I don't think it's going to happen though.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the one I hope is true but probably isn't. Big spoiler warning, potentially, are the evil Yodas. I live for that kind of stuff in Star Wars.
That's fun, yeah. Mine is Bodyguard. Bodyguard, Mon Mothma with I hope that's the one I hope is true. Because I like
with
the
Commander
idea,
Thaya.
Yeah, with basically the clone with Mon Mothma and it being like Bodyguard in space. It's ridiculous in the best way. It's what you should be doing with Star Wars television. So that would be fun.
All right, and then the leak or that you're most excited for that is true or is likely to be true. For me, it has to be the live action Vader Ahsoka from Rebels, right? Seeing them duel in live action and seeing that helmet split open with Anakin's face in there in live action. That's one I'm most excited for.
I'm 99% sure that's what that's on. 99% right now.
Yeah.
How about you, Meg?
I'm gonna say your scoop on Moff Gideon's new armor. I just can't wait to see him back in action and kind of what he's up to.
He's looking good, Meg. He's looking good. He's looking good. Mine
I can imagine.
Mecha Grogu. I think when people see it, they're going to lose their shit. The people who don't see it, they will be converted by it. It will change their minds. It's going to be the most ridiculous, badass, fun thing that ever happened. And I am when I found that out, I called up Bespin. We were like two little girls who got our Teen Beat magazine, and Justin Bieber was on the front. We were like, "Oh my god!" And then I brought it to the internet. Everybody was like, "Well, I don't know about this." And I was like, "What is going on with this world?" But I think people are gonna dig it. I think it's gonna be the most fun ever. I'm
Jason,
excited about it.
I've got a question for you. What are the chances, like percentage wise, we get the Supreme Leader at some point in Mando season 3?
Yeah, I wonder about that too, because there's those like the Praetorians with the like the Praetorian proto weapons are in it. We've seen the red Mandos show up, and then we got the cloners and all that stuff, and then with Gideon. So I'm kind of hoping in a weird way that when we get Gideon busted out, we kind of see like what all of those people are up to as we see him reintegrate back into command or whatever. And then I'm wondering if that's when we're going to get Snoke, if we are going to get Snoke. But I've never got a confirmation like, yeah, you guys are going to see Snoke or anything like that. I haven't even been able to get confirmation that yet the people in those tanks, that those are Snoke clones 100%, or are they the soldiers? And whenever I've asked people, they've been like, "Oh yeah, you know, that's kind of how they treat it." So that either means they don't know, they don't want to tell me. So
I kind of
Maybe they-
think it's Snoke. I think there's a lot of copium in the fandom for people who don't want it to be proto-Snokes.
yeah,
But I kind of
Yeah.
think they have to lead to that if, you know, because they're clearly acknowledging the sequels.
right.
Yeah. Kyle, I hope they don't split Vader's helmet again. Well, they already did, right? In Rebels. And somehow we need to get that content introduced to people who have not watched Rebels. And that's why I think we're going to see that for sure, right? Like, it's the other time. It's not a third time. It's the second time. No, I guess the first time.
And it's
I
really
don't
the
know.
first time, but
Yeah.
well, kind of not real. Well, no, it's actually in timeline. It would be the second time. In our timeline, it's the first time. Yeah. But I'm with Kyle. Like I think that they're kind of like between a rock and a hard place on that one, because it has to happen. Ahsoka, that is part of Ahsoka's story. It's just unfortunate that Kenobi was like the last show, and it's not the next show, but it's so close to, like, within the same year they're going to do it twice, and so it's going to come off poorly. And it's like, but I don't see a way around it. In both, I think the Kenobi series had to do that. Like, that was super important that they see each other, and that we see Anakin saying what he did in that scene. I wouldn't change that for the world. And to me, it just has to do with, like, release date proximities is the only tacky thing about it. Once we get like years out from this, it won't matter. But I hope they never do it again.
We could do flashbacks in animation. All the flashbacks are animated, and then just play the one from that way it's a dream. It's a flashback. It's not real. I don't know. No, I can't speak for Meg because it's really hot in London, but I do have pants on today, so
I'm completely bottomless. It's bottomless mimosas day for me. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, okay, there's an image.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, to keep showing it,
coffee.
it does get less special. It's sort of the same argument for reusing Duel of the Fates, right? Like, Duel of the Fates has a specific context, and when you start using it over and over again in other contexts, it does take away some of the meaning or the specialness of it, right?
Didn't they use it for Yoda versus Dooku in Attack of the Clones, though?
Yeah, well, in that fan edit of Kenobi, they used it there too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which sort of fits because you get Kenobi and Anakin fighting again. But right, but that's the argument, is like, if we keep using it every time there's a lightsaber duel, it kind of loses its meaning. So I could see that. Sure. All right, very good. I think that wraps it up for today. Meg, thank you so much for joining to read that
Thank
excerpt.
you, Santa.
So much fun. I think that's the most
you
I'm
for
going to
helping-
enjoy that book.
Yeah, thank you for helping me bring my characters to life, Meg. I mean, really.
It's my pleasure.
And you guys, please make sure you check out Bespin Bulletin. Read the story. Make sure you get to all the ad revenue for going to his story. There you go.
Read every word, then read it twice.
Read it twice. Read it backwards in between. So read it through, like, top to bottom, and then read it bottom to top, and then top to bottom again. Right? Like, make sure you get every word.
And I want to apologize to the great nations of Ireland and Scotland for getting you confused once again.
I mean, to us English people, you know, we can't understand either of them because of their accents. So,
Oh, I gotta raise. My wife and I have been watching Jeremy Clarkson's Farm on Amazon.
oh yeah, I've watched that as well. It's brilliant.
It is hilarious. But there's that English guy that works on his walls. Like,
Yes.
I can't understand. 8 out of 10
I
words he
couldn't
said.
understand him either. I think he's got like a thick Welsh accent.
Like, what the heck are you saying, man? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just baffled they didn't provide subtitles for him.
When I was like 7 years old, they showed A New Hope on Channel 5 KTLA in Los Angeles, and for some reason, I recorded it back then. Aunt Beru's voice was like Scottish or Irish. She sounded completely different. It was wild, and like, yeah, I'm not even kidding. Like they redubbed her with a different person, with an American actor doing Aunt Beru in A New Hope. Fun fact for you.
there you go. There you go. But that show, Jeremy Clarkson's Farm, that guy, you can't understand. What the heck are you saying, man? I don't think Jeremy understands most of what he's saying. Jeremy just kind of looks at him and just like nods. It's a great show. It's a great show. We have a Mike Porter dad joke.
Yeah.
Star Wars edition. After appearing to betray the cause, what slogan did Calrissian use? I will help. I will fight in space, air, sea, and on Lando. You know, air, sea, and land.
No. Poor Mike Porter. He's like, come on, man.
Oh, we love you, Mike.
Man. Not everyone's a hit, you know. Do my best.
We love you so much. Jason, we'll catch your show at the top of the hour, or are you going a little later today?
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it at
Okay, top of the hour.
11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Very good. All right, Meg, take care of yourself. I know it's hot there. Stay inside. Stay cool.
And hopefully we'll speak on Friday.
I hope so. I'm literally looking forward to Friday.
Me
Spend
too.
some more time with you guys. So thank you so much for being here, all of you. We really appreciate it. You've made my day. And Jason, I should be available to jump into your show when you're talking about light and magic as well. All right. So with that being said, you guys, thank you all for being here. And I hope that you have a wonderful day. Come join us over on Making Star Wars show at the top of the hour. And until next time, my friends, Merry Christmas, and may the Force be with you always. Bye-bye.
Hot dang! Talking through the news from a galaxy far away. Toys and book reviews, positivity all the way. Come and join the fun, subscribe and like away. Movie news and show reviews, it's like Christmas every day. Oh, Star Wars Santa, Star Wars Santa, the Star Wars Santa show. Oh, what fun it is to chat on the Star Wars Santa show. Oh, Star Wars Santa, Star Wars Santa, the Star Wars Santa show. Oh, what fun it is to chat on the Star Wars Santa show. Ho, 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 ho. Hot dang, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat tonight on the Star Wars Santa.